What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Training with Bill. So for this 2-week challenge, I'll be riding a bike 1 hour a day for the next 2 weeks. The reason why I've chosen bike riding is I haven't trained for the past 2 to 3 years, which means I've got a lot of stored body fat, poor endurance and poor strength. Hopefully cycling is going to be an easy way to ease back into training. I've got tomorrow my start official date for both this challenge and my 12-week body transformation challenge. So make sure you stick around. There's going to be a lot more content coming up. Every 2 weeks I'll have a new challenge. If you've got any suggestions, put them in the comment section below. We're also going to check my measurements and my weight right now so that we can use them as a reference point for also the end of the 12-week body transformation challenge. So let's get this shirt off, see how much fat we've really got on his body. Shirts are extremely deceiving, guys, so let's take this off, get our measurements and get straight into it. Let's do this. Alright guys, so with my shirt off, this is how I'm looking at the moment. So you can see nothing is really looking nice. My chest is almost leaning over my stomach. My stomach's protruding. It's all very flabby and jiggly. But the biggest problem that I've got is that it's not comfortable. And I don't mean that I'm not happy with the way that I look. What I mean is it's physically, literally not comfortable. Your body kind of takes control of where you want to go. It doesn't cooperate with you. Your body just jiggles while you're walking. And it's actually more tiring. If you try to bend over to pick something up, your fat just gets in the way. When you sit down on a chair, I'll show you guys what that looks like. Looks like this, so it's not very appealing whatsoever. Let's check my weight. This is what we're going to be using to actually as a reference point for the next 12 weeks and also for this challenge. Rather than doing my old newspaper trick, what we're going to be doing to confirm the date is just using Siri. It's a lot easier. Hey Siri, what's today's date?
It's Tuesday, the 28th of January 2020.
So Tuesday the 28th of January is today's date. Tomorrow is the official start date, which means it's Wednesday the 29th of January. Let's check my weight and see how we're looking. Actually, I'll give you guys a quick 360 so that we can completely compare at the end. Show you guys what my back's looking like right now. So once again, turn all the way around. Not sure if you guys can see, but nice and jiggly, fat little love handles. Back just feels fat, everything feels fat. Whether you call it skinny fat or fat, I think it's just fat at the end of the day. Let's check what my starting weight is. We've got here 94.3 kilos is my starting weight. I'll put that in pounds on the side in case you need to convert it. And also we'll check one more time once this resets, just to confirm the start weight. Once again, 94.3 kilos, guys. So that is my starting weight. All right, guys, so let's start off with my chest. We're going to try to use reference points. So I'm going to use my nipples here as a reference point so that we can get the same position next time around. So if I put this one on here, I don't want to push it too hard. So we can see here it is, I'll get my man boob out of the way. What have we got there? Almost 40 inches exactly. So I'd say that's about 40 inches, guys. That's my starting for the chest. So 40 inches is my chest. All right, guys, so let's measure up my arms and see what we're dealing with. A little bit hard to measure yourself, but we'll make it work. Lucky it's a little bit hot in here and the tape wants to stick. So if we have a look, right arm, we've got 15 inches with no flex. I'll take it both on a flex and no flex. So 15 with no flex. With a flex, we're almost at 16. So if we have a look there, just shy of 16 inches on a flex on my right arm. We'll swap it over and check with the left arm. Should be reasonable difference in here. No flex, we've got 13 and a half. And then if I give that a flex, we can bring that up to 14 and a half. So we've got about an inch to an inch and a half difference between the two arms, guys. So there is a huge, huge visible difference. You can see the bicep on the right, on the left, not really much happening there. So there's a huge difference between the two. So now to check my waist, we're going to use the belly button as a reference point. So loop that all the way around once again. Bring this one here over. And at the moment, it's sitting at 37 inches, guys. So you can see there, 37 inches is what we've got. And that is my waist measurement. Alright guys, so 2 weeks is finally over and done with. It's now time to see how much progress, if any, I've made over the past 2 weeks. We're going to use the previous footage from the start of this, which was 2 weeks ago, and we're going to compare that. So we're going to take our measurements, weight, and also physical appearance and see how much difference, if any, there is over the past 2 weeks. Initially, when I first started riding, the first day I was riding in my local streets. I thought that was going to be a smart idea, but it wasn't. I only lasted about half an hour worth of riding before I had to go home. It was just too tiring. The lactic acid was building up too much in my legs. I was extremely fatigued, tired, exhausted. My butt was absolutely killing me from the bike seat. That's something that took a few days to get used to. And what I decided to do was to actually go onto a nice, smooth, sealed road where I can just have a nice, consistent ride. So the first day, I was on all different terrains, going up and down gutters. It wasn't a smart idea. Really exhausted myself. The second day, I lasted about 50 minutes on a nice, flat, smooth surface. And then every day after that, I continued on for an hour. Now, the first week was pretty easy. The simple reason for that was because I was outdoors. I was getting fresh air, nice scenery. I was actually getting somewhere on the bike. The second week, unfortunately, it was raining the whole last week. So that means I had to sit on a stationary bike and ride my bike in the gym. Now that one there really took it out of me because mentally you have to be prepared to sit on that bike for 1 hour while you're sitting on the spot, spinning your legs. It's not as easy as it sounds. The only upside to it was that I could actually monitor my heart rate. And what I found was actually right on that fat burning zone, which I'll get into in another video, but I was basically sitting at the best heart rate for my weight and age in order to burn as much fat as possible. So my heart rate was sitting at 120 beats per minute, which was pretty good. So I was happy to see that I was not getting a nice consistent heart rate. Anyway, guys, all in all, it was a great experience. I really enjoyed bike riding. I almost consider it as a hobby. I really enjoyed it and I want to keep doing it going on forth. Just not as a challenge where I'm going to be forcing myself every day for an hour, but it's definitely a really fun form of exercise to do. So anyway, guys, let's take off this shirt, see how we're traveling over the past 2 weeks. So obviously we've got the footage from before to compare with. My stomach feels a lot flatter. What I've found is that just by riding the bike, I was actually getting that nice consistent heart rate the whole time. I was getting just almost a consistent sweating as well. I wasn't getting puffed out. It was a nice consistency. I could still have a conversation while I was riding my bike. So I wasn't extremely exhausted, but I was really building up that endurance and strengthening my legs at the same time. Because that lactic acid is what initially stopped me from being able to keep riding for longer. What I found was the first couple of days were really difficult, but then my legs got used to it fairly quickly. And bike riding was surprisingly very, very easy to do. Doesn't put too much pressure on your body. But anyway, guys, let's check out my results. So all in all, I'd definitely say that I'm looking better than what I was 2 weeks ago. My stomach's a lot flatter. Don't be fooled, there's still a lot of fat there. That's my main aim for these 2 week challenges, to try and burn off as much of that excess fat as possible so that any kind of weight training that I do actually has some sort of benefit, or you can actually physically see those results. So that's what I'm trying to work on here with those 2 week challenges. Simply burn as much fat as possible, and I've got an awesome challenge coming up for my next one. So all in all, let's get straight into it, guys. We'll get started on my measurements. I've got a better way to actually take my measurements now. I can't believe I never knew these things existed and how cheap they were. This costs about $3. It's a little automatic tool. You can hear that it's got a little ratchet action, and then it's got a button. It kind of just self-tightens back onto your body. So it's going to be a lot more accurate than using the measuring tape that I was using before. So I'll put the previous measurements up here on the side somewhere so that we can compare. Simply pull this one here out, put it in the little notch. We've got both inches and centimeters that we can measure with. We'll keep it on inches because that is what we started measuring with initially. Simply line that one there up, press the retract button, and it sits in place. So it's nice to see, it's pretty easy. No flex, right arm, we've got just over 15 inches. I think the previous measurement was at around 15, so not too much progress as yet. We'll see once again on a flex, so I'll put this one, give it a bit more slack this time because my biceps are so big. It's a joke. All right, so we'll give it a flex, try to get that to retract on the highest point of the bicep. And we've got there 16.5 inches. So we've got basically half an inch almost on my right arm improvement, both flexed and not flexed. Let's check out my left side, see how much difference there is there. I'll keep this one here so that we can see it on the camera. Make sure it's on inches. So not flexed, left arm, retract. We've got there 14.5. So that is with no flex, 14.5 inches, guys. I think my previous measurements on no flex was 13.5 on my left, and that's the biggest issue, is my concern on the left arm. Because of my surgery, I haven't been using it, and this one here is actually a lot smaller than my right arm. So let's give it a little bit more slack. We'll test it again for flexed on my left arm. Tension that one there up. And we've got there 15.5. So definitely a lot better on my left arm, which is a good thing. That's really what my main concern here. Left arm and right arm both seem to have some sort of improvement over the past 2 weeks. Now, remembering this is also part of my 12-week body transformation challenge, so that means that I'm also going to the gym, training, doing weightlifting. So that's basically all I'm doing. Weightlifting at the moment, to be 100% honest, no diet either, and my cardio, which is part of my 2-week challenges. So that's where I'm going to get all my cardio, all my fat burning mainly from, hopefully, is my 2-week challenges. So let's test out my chest and see how much difference we've got on my chest. Alright guys, so same as last time, we're going to line this one here up with my nipples as we did the first time around. Try to keep our measurements as consistent as possible. Let that one there auto retract in position. Last time I think we had it at 40, so we'll let that one there retract. 40 inches last time. This time around we're sitting at 38.5. So I've lost a little bit of weight off my chest all the way around. We're going to compare these again with our next challenge. So 38 inches or 38.5 is what we're sitting at for the chest. Alright guys, so for the waist, we're going to do the exact same thing in line with the belly button. Make sure there's no slack in that line. Put it there, press the auto tension. I'll put it on the side because that's where all my measurements have been coming from. Let that retract as much as possible. And we've got a measurement there of 35 inches, guys. So that's pretty impressive. I'm very happy with that result. I think 37 was the last result that I got. Just to confirm there's no discrepancy between this one here and the manual one, I'll actually grab the manual tape and I'll confirm that measurement. Once again, 35, guys. So we definitely have lost 2 inches in that past 2 weeks, which is very, very interesting and very rewarding. So I'm very happy with that result there. Let's check my weight and see how that's going, especially because when I did my update last week, I was actually gaining more weight than what I started with. My initial weight was, I think from memory, 94.3 kilos was my start weight. I think I weighed around 94.7 when I updated myself last week. So it'll be interesting to see what my results are this time around. So same thing as always. We'll jump on this one here, check my weight, we'll jump off and then confirm it. 92.4, so I've definitely lost weight. I've lost 2 kilos over the past 2 weeks, specifically over the past week. I'm not too sure exactly why that is the case, but the first week I did have a box of donuts, so that might have actually caused it. That was a bit of a weak time for me. 92.4 kilos, so definitely 2 kilos is what I have lost. So there we have it, guys. After 2 weeks, I've actually got some decent results, especially when it comes to my waist measurement. I'm very happy to see that I've lost about 2 inches over the past 2 weeks. Interestingly enough, only a few days ago, I realized that the seatbelt wasn't digging into my stomach as much as it usually does, which is a good sign. It's an indicator for me. If the seatbelt digs into my stomach, that means I'm gaining weight again. With regards to the weight on the scales, very interesting once again. Last week's update, in case you guys have seen it or haven't seen it, I'll put it in the description below or up on top, somewhere around here. I was actually weighing in 1 week into my challenge more than my start weight. So my start weight was 94.3 kilos. The end of my first week was 94.7 kilos. So I had gained weight at the end of the first week. I did have a weak moment during that first week where I went out and bought a box of donuts and I completely demolished those donuts. Could be the reason why I was gaining a bit more weight at the end of the first week, but all in all, after 2 weeks, I've lost 2 kilos exactly. So I'm very happy with that. I'll take that win. For my next challenge, guys, I've already got that one lined up. What I'll be doing is skipping every day for the next 2 weeks, 1,000 skips a day. In case you're confused and you're thinking, it's not skipping like a girl skips on the way to school. What I mean is jump rope, guys. So we'll be using this skipping rope or jump rope right here. The reason why I've bought this one, it's still brand new, sealed up. The reason why I'm using this one, it's got a built-in counter. So I'm gonna be able to keep track of my 1,000 skips every day for the next 2 weeks. Hopefully we'll get some good results out of that, guys, and also over the next 10 to 12 weeks. Remembering this is part of my 12-week body transformation challenge. So most of my results are a mixture of my gym training plus my 2-week challenges. My 2-week challenges are mainly going to be focused on weight loss. That's where I'm getting most of my cardio from these 2-week challenges. The rest is just weight training. When it comes to diet, to be honest, I'm not really dieting that much. But we'll see how we go over the next couple of weeks anyway, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Training with Bill.